Shai Gilgeous-Alexander became only the second Canadian to win the MVP in the NBA after Steve Nash, and it prompted some very intriguing questions. Did he deserve it? And if he did, is he the face of the NBA right now? The narrative was supposed to be that after LeBron and clearly Jokic as of late, the next in line for the face of the league to be Edwards. But it seems like he got schooled by SGA in the dominant 4-1 series victory in the Western Conference Finals. But is Shai deserving of the MVP title? And more importantly, how can he prove the haters wrong now that his team is in the finals? Shai won the MVP award for the 2024/25 regular season, despite criticism that labeled him as a free throw merchant and a foul baiter. Many believe that he is living and dying on the charity stripe, but the stats speak otherwise. If we are to look at his numbers in the regular season, we'd understand why he was able to beat Jokic, who became only the third player in the history of the NBA to average a triple-double over a season. SGA won the scoring award by averaging 33 points per game. On top of that, he added 5 rebounds and 6 assists, while averaging 1.7 steals and a block per event. What is also very important is his shooting percentage. He had 64% true shooting. That's not something you can replicate very easily. A baffling fact for you: Shai had only 9 games in the 2024-2025 season where he shot under 40% from the field. For comparison, Ant had 25 of those games. Another important fact for you: the Thunder have the most 30-point wins in the postseason by any team in NBA history. The leader behind this is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Just imagine how important these stats are for the Thunder. Even though they had another all-star in Jalen Williams, the inconsistency of the 24-year-old in the playoffs exposed how important Shai's influence on the court is. The Thunder won 68 games in a season. Had they not done that, maybe another candidate would have made sense to be considered as a candidate. Furthermore, OKC still has a chance of winning the championship. Jokic and Antetokounmpo don't. I know that the award is for the regular season, but the postseason has its own implications as well. We cannot continue this video without talking about the most controversial aspect of Shai's gameplay: the free throw attempts. Throughout the regular season, Shai attempted 8.8 free throws per game. Jokic averaged 6.4 free throw attempts per game. And obviously, this kind of pushed the narrative that Shai would be just an average player without the free throws. It's not that he goes to the charity stripe, so painful to the NBA fans. It's the way he does it. By pushing and shoving himself into defenders and by drawing contact. Many have labeled it as foul baiting, and others have accused the NBA of forcing SGA to be the face of the league. But the reality is quite different. Shai is using a very interesting and rather intelligent gameplay on the offensive end. More often than not, the 50-50 calls have ended up in Shai's favor, and that frustrated the fans to a greater extent. But a lot of his 30-plus point games came with about 14 to 16 free throws made, which is why the accusations have been thrown against the MVP. But if we are to look at what he's made in Oklahoma, the narrative would be very different. He is the best player on the best team, and they've been able to come to the NBA Finals pretty easily. It's Denver and Jokic who were able to put a bit of pressure on OKC and push them to Game 7, But it's undeniable that SGA makes everyone around him better, even if it's by frustrating the defenders with the controversial foul baiting strategy. But hey, if it works, don't fix it. So is SGA the face of the league? A close competition is currently on display between him and Anthony Edwards. But according to Charles Barkley, the Wolves' superstar is far away from it. When talking about this, Barkley said, "OKC is the best team in the NBA. I've been telling you that for 2 months. Hey, ESPN, I love you guys. Don't try to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. The face of the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joker, and Giannis. You can't give it to people. They have to take it. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is taking it." Even Shai has gone on to address the comments about him being a free throw merchant, saying that for him, they are nothing more than a compliment. When talking about this after leading the Thunder to a massive Game 4 win against the Wolves by scoring 40 points, Shai went on to talk about the chants from the crowds about him being a free throw merchant, to which he said, "As far as the label of a free throw merchant, I don't care. I never cared. I've said this before. I've shot more free throws in a season than I did this season. I think because we're at the top of everyone's radar, it's a little bit more noticeable. And now people care about it, but I kind of see it as a compliment. The higher you rise, the sharper the knives. Shai knows that better than anyone else, so there is no need to push the narrative of him being the villain. He is just a young hooper who is probably destroying your and my favorite player. He led his team to the first NBA Finals appearance since 2012. What more can you ask from him? Does he play the game you love in a very irritating way? I guess so. Does it work? Most certainly. And I guess the question we need to answer is, why is the NBA allowing and endorsing it? The answer is very simple. It's within the rules. He isn't doing anything illegal. He just knows his way around a player and often forces them to make a mistake. By implementing this frustrating gameplay, Shai can often get contact when you least expect it. But it's not something that we haven't seen in other superstars as well. Jokic, Doncic, and even LeBron are famous for doing it. So why does Shai gets all the hate all of a sudden? Maybe it's because he is not American, or maybe it's because he's overthrowing Ant as the face of the league. Time will tell, but the job is not done yet. Shai now needs to seal the deal and win the championship for his team, something that not even the big trio of Harden, Westbrook, and Durant were able to do back in their golden era. Even though his road might have been a bit easier, he's beaten teams like the Nuggets and the Wolves. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that Shai's postseason has been nothing short of phenomenal. Very consistent gameplay, stamina, determination, and a proper way of exploiting the rules to their absolute maximum. This is what happens when you have Shai on your team. So, the narrative, the best player on the best team wins. If Jokic were up there fighting with OKC for the first seed in the West, things would have been different. But again, the Serbian big was left to fend off his rivals without having any superstar on his team. He struggled with the inconsistency of Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. On the other hand, Shai always had someone to rely on, or more precisely, he was always ready to pick up when somebody dropped the ball. This became evident in the series against the Nuggets, where the inconsistency of Jalen Williams almost cost them the entire playoff run. So, What's left now for the 2024/25 MVP? Definitely winning the championship. Without it, it's going to be one of the most worthless 68-win series that his team could have notched. If the chip goes east, then Shai will have a lot to defend. If you're going to win the MVP in a controversial manner, then you're definitely going to need the championship and the Finals MVP to prove your worth. Maybe the NBA will change some narratives around him as well. Maybe we'll see some new rules being implemented to prevent this domination. That is all in the future. But we're living in the present, and we are yet to see what Shai is capable of doing when the stakes are at their highest. With all this in mind, what do you think about the 2024/25 MVP? And more importantly, do you think Shai is the next face of the NBA? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.